In this lesson, we'll discuss percentage value used by relative, absolute, and fixed position. Whenever you're using percentage values, the first question you should ask is, percentage of what? Or what will be used as the base value? Just like margin, position will also use the parent's DIV's size as the base value for percentage values. We'll talk about absolute and fixed position first. At the end, we'll discuss relative position. You might already have a feeling that the relative position is going to be problematic. Well, yes, it is. A fixed position will use the browser border as its reference object. Therefore, it'll create the browser window's width and height as the base value. So let's create a DIV and set it to fixed position. Then we assign top 50% and left 50% to it. Where do you think the DIV will be? We can see the top left corner of the DIV has been moved to the vertical and horizontal center of the browser window. If you resize the browser window, the DIV will move accordingly as well. Next, let's try the absolute position. When learning absolute position, we said absolute positioned elements will use the positioned parent DIV as a reference object. If no positioned parent DIV has been found, the browser border will be used as the reference object. Therefore, whoever's being used as the reference object will also be used as the base value. For example, let's create a parent DIV and a child DIV. We set the child DIV to absolute position but keep the parent DIV in a static position. This means the browser border will be used as a reference object. Then we assign top 50% and left 50% to the child DIV. What do you think the child DIV will be? We can see the top left corner of the child DIV has been moved to the center of the browser window. And once again, if we adjust the browser window, the child DIV moves as well. Therefore, the conclusion is, if the browser border is being used as the reference object, the browser width and height will also be used as the base value. Next, we assign relative position to the parent DIV. This means the reference object is now the parent DIV. So, who will this affect on the base value? We can see that the top left corner of the child DIV is now in the center of the parent DIV. If we switch 50% to 100%, the child DIV will be moved to the right bottom corner of the parent DIV. Understanding that, let's talk about relative position. We've learned that relative position will use its original location as the reference object. However, who do you think will use the base value here? The parent DIV? Well, yes and no. If the relative positioned element is wrapped in the parent DIV and its parent's DIV's width and height are clear, then the parent's width and height will be used as the base value. If the relative positioned DIV is directly wrapped in the body tag, then top and bottom will not work, but left and right will. Memorize this conclusion. In the future, you'll be tempted to assign top 50% to a relative position DIV that's directly wrapped in the body tag. Just remember, you should not do that, as it won't work.